Hi, it's Jeff Cook again. This lesson is Free Falling by Tom Petty, and it's a lesson for guitar players familiar with open chords or those who are perhaps beginning with bar chords. But it can also double up as an exercise in developing and understanding strumming patterns. A link is provided below for all the lesson resources like chord boxes and strumming patterns and so on. The lesson is divided into two videos, this being video 1. And each video has 2 sections. Now each section is slightly more difficult than the one before, so if you think what you've learned from section 1 is all you need, that's great, you can stop there. There's no need to watch the whole video. But if you'd like to learn more, you can easily carry on to the next section. Bearing that in mind, I'd recommend learning each part properly before moving on to the next, as each part depends on you knowing the preceding one quite well. First, we're going to look at Tom Petty's guitar part. These are the chords that Tom Petty uses when playing this song live and on the original recording. If you really want to recreate the sound you hear on the song, you'll need another guitar player to play with you to play the second part. But we can look at how that works in the next video. Okay, now Tom plays this with a capo on the 1st fret, as we see here. So here are the chords. First chord is E. Nice simple chord that most of you will probably know by now. The second chord is A sus2, or A suspended second, like this. Now some people might play this with the 1st and 2nd fingers, like so, but in this song it's probably a good idea to play it with the 2nd and 3rd fingers, because then you can jump across from the E, like that, just moving those 2 fingers across one string. You could even keep the 1st finger down from the E chord. Okay, so that's the first 2 chords. The only other chord in this song is the B suspended 4th chord, or the B sus4, which is this chord. Okay, now this is how it's going to be played in the song. So what we've got is the E chord, followed by the A sus2, and then the A sus2 again, quickly followed by the E, like this. Okay? Then we finish off with the B sus4. Now then, you can play all of these chords as downstrokes if you find it easiest. So you can go like that, quite easily. And don't forget, these are the only chords through most of the song. And they just repeat over and over again. What you might want to do, though, on the 2nd bar of the song, where it goes, is to do the A sus2 as a downstroke and the E chord as an upstroke. Just makes the whole thing a little bit quicker. And then we get that. So, okay, once you know all of the changes, the important thing is to be able to play the chords with the correct timing. Some of you might be able to do that instinctively, but don't worry if you can't. In section 2, we're going to look at the timing and also the basic strumming pattern. Okay, Free Falling, like the vast majority of rock and pop songs, has 4 beats in every bar. Now, don't worry if you don't know what a bar is or how it works. It's easy just to count. It's handy if you've got a metronome, but you can do without it. This is how this works though. This is a metronome. Now if we set the metronome to around about 85 beats per minute, as we can see at the top there, That would be about the right speed for the song. And we count the song out like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. And this is how the song fits over those beats. It's and so on. Okay, now you've probably noticed that some of my strums are downwards and some are upwards. You might also notice that not all of the chords I'm playing are falling on the beat. So how do we get the timing right? Try playing downstrokes on the E chord in time with the metronome. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And so on. So we've got 4 downbeats, and each of those 4 downbeats added together makes up a bar. Now it's obvious that every time we play a downstroke, we have to come back up before we can play the next one. So we could actually use those upstrokes and actually play them, so it would end up like this. Now, okay, that's not very interesting as a strumming pattern, but the important thing here, though, is that we've now added another strum in between the main beats. So the beats are 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're adding beats in. We can think of the upward beats as off beats or and beats. So then we get 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Every one of those 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 ands makes up a bar. As I said, playing every one of these strums isn't very interesting and it doesn't really fit the song. But what's important here, what you want to really remember about this, is that you need to keep your right hand moving constantly even when you're not strumming a chord. This is one thing I can't stress enough when you're trying to learn to strum. Yes, it is possible to strum these chords without keeping your right hand moving. But if you do keep moving, your sound will be subtly smoother and you should be able to keep in time more easily. So that's how we arrive at the strumming pattern I played a little bit earlier, where we get this. Okay, so now you can see how some of those are down and some of those are up. And you'll notice that all the and beats or off beats are played using the upstroke. So we actually get a timing of 1 and 1 and 1 and 1 and like that. So we can write this strum pattern out just like this. And we can show the strum direction like this. So now we're only actually strumming the chord when the arrows are black, but the red arrows show that the right hand keeps moving but misses the strings. Once again, this is a great way to keep in time and to make your strumming sound smooth. Try to keep your right hand loose and relax, and don't dig the pick into the strings. It's quite important to hold the pick quite close like this so that there's only a little bit of pick showing. Try not to hold it like this. Then it gets lost in the sound hole or just gets basically stuck into the strings. Great. That gives us a really usable strumming pattern for this song. And if you're happy with that, you can stop the video here. But if you want to play a more accurate version of the song, stick with me to section 3, which is going to be on the next video, video 2. I'll see you then.